You guys open whatever you guys want to know. Just kind of a little bit of how they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of different guys making plays at different times. Joe, Robert, Jamie on. You feel pretty good about them?
You know, yeah, I do. Actually, one of the unique things about being able to split up practices right now is, you know, we mixed it up yesterday. Joe was with a different group of guys. Holly was with a different group of guys. Jamie, we mixed the group. Yesterday's practice in the AM and yesterday's practice in the PM. Different guys practiced again today. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of that's done with Coach Mullins having an opportunity to make guys accountable to each other, and it's actually pretty good. You get a chance to see different guys step up and kind of be a leader in different aspects, and the next day they may not be that alpha dog out there, someone else may, so they're learning the role of following somebody. But from that standpoint, it's been a pretty neat deal being able to go 2 different practices. Guys are making plays, and that's what you want to see. You want to see guys making big plays consistently. You know, we talk about being consistent at our position, but at the same time, and we're smart enough to understand and realize that if we want to be good, we've got to be productive. And we talked to my group, we want to try to have 5 big plays at 20+ yards in a game. Yeah. And for us to simulate that out here, it's got to happen in one-on-one. What happens, you get to one-on-one period, it's right after individual and it's right after route. So there's a lot of running. I mean, you're running, and you should be tired going into one-on-ones for us. And I like that for the fact that you get better when you're tired, because you'll see some guys dropping the ball out there. Dropping the ball has nothing to do with having bad hands. Dropping the ball has everything to do with not being focused. They're not focused, and they've got to refocus when they're tired. So, you know, from the aspect of being out here and having a split practice and let guys, one, everybody's getting a ton of reps. 2 is they've got to function being tired. They got to rely back on their fundamentals, and if they can rely back on their fundamentals and consistently make those plays, you put a pretty good unit on the field.
You see some guys that look really good in practice, and then maybe it doesn't translate on the field. So what do you see from guys like Rojo and Jamie on that tells you, I think this will translate to game day?
You know, we got a long way to wait till game day. You know, we're one day at a time, one practice at a time, and you know, the great thing about us right now is, you know, on the football program and the football field out there together as a team, is it's one play at a time for us. If you drop the ball, you've got to understand, you've got to be a good enough player to realize, I dropped the ball, I got to come back and make the play the next time the ball's thrown to me. You know, at the same time, all I tell my guys, there's going to be some mistakes made during 2 days. Agreement to play as a unit, there's one football. If you're a selfish guy and it's a me before team, you won't play. Understand that they got to understand we got to block too. And I always go back through that. We'll do a blocking drill every day. We want to make sure we block and be the best blockers in the country. So, but overall as a unit, I'm excited about my guys. Tons of work to go now. I mean, we don't play for a couple more weeks, but we're right here right now. We've got to be here. And that's part of 2 days. It's part of getting better, but I'm excited about the group of guys that I got.
With the music and like the juice and the mayhem, do you feel an extra level to these practices?
I think it's good to change things up. You're dealing with 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, and you know, I don't care, every one of y'all, when you were driving down the street at that age, probably had a tendency to turn the music up a little loud and roll the windows down. So, you know, at the same time, we're preparing our guys, but at the same time, what motivates a young guy? You know, as a coach, we're 45, you know, plus, right around, I'm not 45, but some guys might be. But you got to motivate your players, and how do you do some? Change it up a little bit. I always say, you know, there's that level of routine, but at the same time, change things, make it uncomfortable, or spice it up at times. So I like it.
Do you enjoy? I mean, because there's a lot of variety in there. I mean, there's some
there's some of that.
Stop Believing.
There was a song on there today, and it was an old school song, and all my players were like, "Coach, how you picked that song?" No, I didn't pick it, but it's an old school song, and I like it.
What song was it?
I don't even remember. I can't even tell you. So you guys have a great day. I appreciate y'all.
That is. We always talk about getting swole, so I threw a couple bad ones today, so I had to do a couple push-ups.
How much more comfortable are you today compared to the spring? You seem really have to be clicking with the guys.
Well, you know, it's just getting to know each other. You know, being around them a lot more, better understanding of the playbook. You know, exactly, not just the technique, but being able to explain the ins and outs of the defense. And we know each other. You know, I kind of know how to push their buttons. I know their likes and dislikes, and just try to keep them motivated daily.
You got quite a battle there with the ones and the twos. Talk about that competition.
But that's the thing, you know. I talk to guys a lot about being complete players, and a lot of them have goals on playing at the next level, and you know that's what it's all about. Competition brings the best out of everybody, and I talked to them about it daily. You know, I told them I don't know who the starter is. We'll find that out come the first game, and you know that's how they're approaching it.
How much carryover do you think from Justin Cobb from the spring?
His talent is there. He's getting the playbook. You know, that's always the the toughest part about coming to a new system is playing fast and not thinking, you know, and now he's getting to the point where he's not having to think so much just about the call, but he's actually able to let his athletic ability come out and show. And that's the thing I'm seeing right now, because when we just do one-on-one, you see how athletic he is, because he's not thinking. So now when he really gets the playbook, he's going to be that much more of a better player.
How valuable are guys like Love and Calhoun that have played a little bit now?
Oh, it's huge. You know, not even that. It kind of shows the, you know, they set the tone for the group, you know, because they've been here. They've seen how Slade, they've seen how Banks work, and they know that's what it takes to be a great player, because they had that example in front of them. So when you have guys that have the same mindset as the coach, it makes it easier to give it to the younger guys, and that's what they do.
How much does the competition in practice change when there's open spots like that, rather than, you know, a guy who has the job locked down?
I don't, you know, how I was brought up in playing football, nobody has a job. You know, every day you have to go out and prove yourself. You know, it's a what have you done for me now business, and that's how the mindset that you have to be a good player, because when you become complacent, that's when the next guy passes you. So I want them to always have that hunger, always have that ability to want to compete, and that's when they'll be their best player.
Do you bring that as a coach too? I mean, I see you running. You're the first one to the drill. You're beating some of the players. Do you bring that as a coach too?
I try to. You know, lead by example. That's one thing I do believe in. You have to lead by example. It's not always about talking. When you got there and lead by examples, others follow. And you know, that's the thing I believe in.
What's your policy philosophy with the younger guys and the freshmen? Because obviously they don't know what they're doing right now, and they're not supposed to.
Yeah, they're not. You know, but I will say I started my second game as a freshman. So, you know, the same thing goes for them. Get in the playbook, learn what you're supposed to do, get out here and compete, and at the end of the day, we'll see what happens.
They almost make mistakes though if they're kind of making them fast or making them hard.
That's always that's with anybody. Effort does outplays anything. You know, effort is the main. That's the first thing that you have to do. Because even yesterday we talked about what we can control. We can always control the effort.
Are you trying to set field and boundary corners at this point, or just kind of test everybody?
Yeah, we're gonna play. With all the up-tempo stuff, that field and boundary stuff is out of the book. Because a lot of times you get in trouble running around looking for the field, looking for the boundary, that's snapping the ball. So nowadays you better know how to play both sides.
I saw that yesterday at some point. I think you were training some linebackers and some cover drills.
Right.
What's kind of the idea behind that?
Well, we have some circuits that we do, you know, and we teach a lot of technique. So it don't matter what we call. If you know the technique, you can execute the defense. You know, if you knew a certain technique, we can call whatever defense we want and plug in and you can play. I think that's how you become good at defense, because everybody knows what to do.
Jeff Collins talked about when you were playing in the NFL, you'd sit in on the defensive line meetings, linebacker meetings, so you kind of know the
3 days of practices.
Well, you know, day was the first day we added shoulder pads. We in split practices, took half of the group and the other half this afternoon. A lot of good. I think the guys made a step forward today. I don't think it's any question. They were battling a lot. They added shoulder pads, they added a few pounds. You know, it's hot out here. It's easy to start feeling sorry for yourself. You just got to keep grinding. So I'm pleased with the mental aspect. We still got a lot of technical stuff to get, but guys were trying to fight through adversity. So, you know, every day we just talk about trying to get a little bit better, just a little bit better. Don't worry about nobody else. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Let's handle today.
Watching your guys, even in shoulder pads, seem like they want to treat it like full contact and tackle.
Well, I mean, it is, except for the tackle. I mean, shoulder pads now, because you got to stay up, you got to practice smart. We expect it to be everything but down on the ground. So you got to be athletic, you got to stay off the ground, you got to be able to play with technique, and you got to basically play a game standing up.
David, do you feel like with with Preston and Danico, you've got some coaches on the field that kind of understand what's going on?
Well, I'm not ready to call them that yet. You know, we got Ryan Brown, and Ryan Brown's coming along, A.J. Jefferson coming along. So, you know, I feel good about the group. Danico has played, but you got to understand, Danico playing first year in the SEC was last year. So really, he's no different than a freshman. Just he plays some junior college ball, and the competition has been a little bit better than high school. But he still got a long way to go. He's making progress. The thing about Danico, he shows up every day. He works hard. That's the one thing I ask guys to do. Preston, he's making progress in that area. Right now, you know, he's having more good days than